who were working with Mheshimiwa Ng'eno in his office. Let us give them a hand of applause, because they have, together with our clerks in the National Assembly, the clerk's assistant to the Committee of Housing, supported Mheshimiwa in his work at the constituency, and I know there are also other members of staff who shall be introduced in Emurua Dikir, who worked with Mheshimiwa Ng'eno. We appreciate you and thank you, Nepoleni sana. Your Excellency, I'll just say one word, then invite the youth leader and party leader of ODM, Mheshimiwa Oburu, to give his condolences, then the speakers who will invite you. And mine, Your Excellency, on behalf of the members of the National Assembly, whom worked with Mheshimiwa Ng'eno and many of these other gentlemen lying before us here this afternoon, is to say pole to the families of all these gentlemen here. I knew at least 3 of them, as Aaron said, in 2017, when he went to revenge against Johanna Ng'eno for having decampaigned him in his by-election. He invited me together with Governor Tunai to join them, and we were designated to go and campaign for Jubilee in Narok County. And I remember then when we visited his village in Mogondo, even young children would see a chopper coming down and would say, Ichungwa, Ichungwa, because of the number of times that we set foot in Emurua Dikir to campaign for our party Jubilee. And let me say, I had known Johanna when we joined, just before we joined Parliament together in 2013, and as fate would have it, we served in the same committee. I was his vice chair in the Public Investments Committee. And that is when I discovered or saw the intellect, especially on legal matters, of Mheshimiwa Ng'eno, because he was a pivotal person in our committee on matters legal, and he shepherded us on many legal issues when we served together in the Public Investments Committee in the 11th Assembly. Again, as fate would have it, when in 2017 we parted ways and he ran on KANU and we in Jubilee, we campaigned against each other. But we kept our friendship. And you remember all through the campaign, we would go with my brother Aaron and Governor Tunai to campaign in Emurua Dikir. And in the evening, because we were very good friends with Ng'eno, he would send me all the clips of what I have said on the ground. And he would tell me, nitawanyorosha, and for sure, alitunyorosha. That was Johanna. And as P.S. Hinga said, because I had worked closely with him and I knew his character, I knew his strengths, when we were re-elected again in 2022 and designated him to be the chair of our Housing and Urban Development Committee in the National Assembly. Many people, including P.S. Hinga and his CS then, had a lot of misgivings on Johanna. And I remember assuring P.S. Hinga, and I thank God that we have indicated that you will not have a better chairperson than Johanna Ng'eno. Unfortunately, 3 or 4 months after he was elected as a chair, many members, including a few who are here, led by the member for Sirisia, sought to impeach Johanna Ng'eno as the chair of that committee. And I remember we had a long session convincing them that Johanna is like this. He is forthright. He will tell you things as they are. And probably because we had a shared character in that nature of being able to tell people things as they are without mincing words, I understood him and I convinced all the 15 members of that committee to allow Johanna to continue serving. And I can speak for members of his committee because the vice chair spoke here on their behalf to say that they had the best chairman in that committee. I said at home to Mrs. Ng'eno, this nation, Parliament, and indeed that committee is only poorer without Chairman Johanna Ng'eno. Because we needed a man like Ng'eno to be able to shepherd us through the housing levy debacle of 2023-2024, even the court cases that went to court, Johanna, being a legal mind, was an active participant even in the litigation, advising the counsel that were appearing in court on how to push our case in court. And the success that we have seen, Your Excellency, in the housing sector, Johanna Ng'eno's name has a full chapter when the history of the housing agenda and the transformation of our country is finally written. Johanna Ng'eno and this committee have a full chapter in the amount of work they input. As fate would have it, Carlos here, when we went to campaign in 2017 in Amurwa Dekir, Carlos is a gentleman who was organizing all our meetings in Jubilee. And I came to know him, as my brother Aaron has said, as a very forthright and dedicated and very committed youth leader in that constituency. And we worked very closely with him in the time he served in the protocol department in the office of the Deputy President. And until recently, we kept in touch. And I must say, poleni sana to the family of our brother Carlos Mwalimu. We have lost a very dedicated person and a very committed leader in our country. Captain Nwere, Mama, and your brother, George's brother, and the family, let me say Pole. I've known Nwere now for close to about 7 years since I first flew with him. And as Aaron has said, Captain Nwere was a very good captain. He not only makes sure that he gets out fast to open the door for you, he would also make sure many of us, Your Excellency, and I know Speaker Wetangula will bear me witness because he flew with Captain Nwere the other Sunday. He would never allow you to sit in the front seat and not strap the shoulder straps. And many of us are used just to strapping the waist strap. Captain Nwere would make sure that you strap even the shoulder straps if you are flying with him in the front seat. We have lost them. Let us accept it as God's will and pray to the Almighty God that you give these families the fortitude and the strength and the comfort that they deserve, because they truly deserve that comfort that can only come from the Lord Almighty. May God rest their souls in eternal peace and bless these families even as we lay all our brothers to rest this week and the weeks that will follow for Captain George. And we will join all the families and support you even as we lay them to rest and continue praying for you even beyond the funeral. With those few remarks, our condolences on behalf of all the members of the National Assembly who joined us in the song that we sang. We thought it was the best way to say Pole, since we all would have wanted to speak here, but because of time we'll not be able to do. With those many remarks, let me invite the youth leader and party leader of ODM, Mheshimiwa Senator Oburu, to pass his condolences, and then